In this episode, we're going to talk about building wealth, and you can start with $10, you can start with $10,000. This is how you can start to grow a money tree. If you're interested in getting rich in the long run, this is definitely a good guide for you to follow. Make sure you implement these strategies because the sooner you start, the more money you're going to make. Let's get right into this episode. First off, it's kind of just simple math. Money plus time equals more money, and if you reinvest it over time, it will build wealth. And I'll make that make more sense in just a moment. So stage one is going to be called our capital. Capital is how much money we have at our disposal that we're able to invest with. For this example, this hypothetical, we're starting with $10,000. Now, an important aspect of starting with this $10,000, we need to continue to make money. We need something that is constantly cash flowing. Assuming we are still making $263 a day, every single day, implementing those strategies found in that last video I made. If you haven't seen this episode, I'm going to link it up here in the top right corner. It's how I've been earning $263 every single day. Pretty much anyone can implement that strategy that I go over in that video right here, so be sure to check this one out. Now, assuming we make $263 implementing those strategies, we are going to be able to move on to stage two. Compound interest investing is one of the most important things to implement when it comes to making money and building wealth over time. I'm just going to pull up a compound interest calculator by investor.gov. Our initial investment was $10,000. And our monthly contribution, now we are still making $263 a day in this example. So $263 each day, let's say 30 days in a month, it's about $7,000, but this can fluctuate a little bit. So we're going to minus $1,500 just to kind of undershoot this number a little bit. We're saying $6,000 a month. And let's say we spend $3,000 on expenses. We've got $3,000 left over at that point. Let's say from this $3,000, let's say we contribute $2,000 into our investment account. We still have $1,000 left over for our savings. So monthly contribution, I've worked it out to be about $2,000 a month. And length of time in years. Now this one's super important because investing is an extremely long-term game. This is not something that we can't just put 3 years and expect to build wealth in 3 years. This is something that's going to happen in the background, and it's going to be something that happens over a very long period of time. So I'm going to say 30 years. This could be either higher or lower depending on your personal goal. But if we're genuinely after building true wealth and getting rich, this is going to be the way to do it. 30 years, it's going to take a very long time. The good news is with these 30 years is this is happening in the background. This is happening while you're investing your money elsewhere. This is happening while you're building your different side businesses. So over 30 years, this will be happening. Set this up and let it run for you. This will build you wealth just as a byproduct. Most importantly, we have estimated interest rate. This is an important number to fill in accurately. Your estimated interest rate is going to fluctuate every single year, and that usually happens from investing in the stock market. So the best way to calculate that is to simply find what the average rate of return on the stock market is. So the average rate, it says on Google, posted 4 days ago, is between around 10%. 7% total return is fairly reasonable if it includes dividends and inflation. Everyone's saying 10% is the historical stock market return, at least over the last 10 years. So I'm going to just kind of undershoot that a little bit. I'm just going to say 8%, and this is going to fluctuate. So 8% is definitely a reasonable return rate on our investment. Interest rate variance change, we're not going to mess with that too much just because I'm already accounting for that variance change. So we don't have to add anything there. And compound frequency, this does happen every single year annually. So we're going to hit calculate on this. And there you go. So starting with $10,000, investing $2,000 every single month at an 8% interest rate will return almost $3 million in 30 years. This is happening while you work on your other business, while you go to your day job, whatever it is you are doing for the next 30 years, this will be happening in the background for you. We'll only have contributed $700,000. With our rate of return, we're at almost $3 million. That's $2.8 million. And 30 years does seem like a very long time. So plant the tree now and in the future you will be able to harvest from that tree. It's just going to take a very long time for it to grow, which is perfectly fine. Great things take time, especially when it comes to building wealth. Now let's take our initial $10,000 investment and let's make it a $100,000 investment, and we're still contributing $2,000 every single month. Let's just say we're starting with more money. Now in 30 years, you've made almost an extra $1 million. We're at $3.7 million here. In 16 years, you will guaranteed be a millionaire. That's a pretty great deal. You know, if you're starting this at 18 years old, by the time you're 34, you are guaranteed to be a millionaire. And not only that, but you've had 16 years to develop and build other skills and businesses. Compound interest investing is going to be the most powerful way to invest. Now you might be wondering, what are you buying, right? Let's say we have 10 grand. What do I buy? I would say the safest place to do this is with an app called Robinhood. Robinhood is an awesome, user-friendly stock market platform anyone can start using. I have a link in the description if you guys want to sign up. You guys can start your compound investing journey literally starting today. And you don't even need to start with 10 grand. You can put $10 into the account and just slowly continue to contribute money into it. Let's say our initial investment is $10, and in 30 years, you can still make $2.7 million. The most important part is that monthly contribution we have here, and that's where that making $263 a day comes into play. And then year 19, you are a guaranteed millionaire at this point. So get on Robinhood and you can buy something like SPY. Look at the last year. It returned 11.5% in 1 year. And now to make a little bit more sense of this, if you don't know anything about the stock market, this 11.5% is what we filled in right here at 8%. Things like the SPY, QQQ, IVV, and MDY, these are all ETFs that are basically the top 500 companies in America that are producing and innovating tech and medicine and everything else. These are the top 500 companies. So as long as America is doing well, these will continue to grow over time, as history has shown us. This is just an example of the SPY chart. This is just continued to go up and up and up each and every single year, and this is what you'd be investing in to continue to produce that compound interest. It's things like ETFs on the stock market. So I would recommend starting this compound interest journey as soon as possible. Hopefully you can invest $2,000 a month into it to continue to compound, and let this run in the background for you. Now, moving into stage 3, hopefully you guys signed up with Robinhood. You can start your recurring investment journey into things like SPY and QQQ. There are tons to choose from. Definitely do your own research and figure out what works for you. But these are just a couple examples. Go plant your tree and give it 30 years because you're guaranteed to make multiple millions of dollars as long as you continue to contribute each and every single month. Basically, your $2,000 a month is watering that tree. That's literally how this works. Your main goal isn't to get rich quick. Your main goal is to build wealth over time. And this is one of the many ways that the rich just get richer. They probably grew a massive tree a very long time ago, and not even just one tree, but probably an entire forest of trees that is producing them income. With that being said, I hope you guys consider implementing what we talked about in this video. Hopefully in 30 years, you guys can thank me that you have your very own cash producing tree. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.